On the Range podcast. On the Range.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of On the Range podcast with HOGG Tactical and Kelley Defense. I am Mark Kelley, and joined as always with my co-host and friend, Rick Hogg. How's it going, buddy?
Man, Mark, I'm doing great. You know why? Because I'm not on an Ivy League campus dealing with all that rubbish. That's why.
Ivy
League. Ivy League. All the important folk acting like a bunch of fools. But we'll get to that in a minute. Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. So, guys, I want to thank the viewers, listeners out there for giving us your most precious commodity, your time to tune in. Greatly appreciated. Guys, don't forget, go to warhog.com, kelleydefense.com. Sign up for those newsletters. Trust me, we'll not inundate you with a bunch of stuff because you're looking at the guys who do the newsletters, web development, marketing, all that other good stuff, right? So trust me, you might get it once a week, every other week, maybe every 3 weeks. Who knows? But we'll send you pertinent info, what's going on, especially when it comes to our OTR crew membership. You can use warhog.com, kelleydefense.com, go there, or if you opt to go to patreon.com/on the range podcast. Here's the beauty: free to become a member of the crew. That's right. Now, you want access? That's a whole nother story. Look at the different tiers, see what's going to fit you. 100 plus training videos in there, bi-monthly Zoom calls with me and Mark. Again, just a great international crew of like-minded individuals looking to make themselves 1% better every single day. So love to have you guys be part of that crew membership. So warhog.com, kelleydefense.com, swing by and check it out.
Yes, well said, sir. Wherever you are, thank you for making us part of your day. And today's episode is brought to you by the Firearms Training Notebook, 1% better every day. Make sure you go to Amazon and check that out. If you go to the websites, there's buttons for it, but you search the Firearms Training Notebook in Amazon. It's going to pop right up, have it sent right to your house. The printing and the shipping is pretty quick. Hasn't been a whole lot of issues. So it's been pretty good. But, other than that, the book itself is flying off the shelves. And additionally, just recently we had a Spyro Bound edition that came out. That was all in newsletters. So, sign up for those and keep an eye out. It will happen again. The Spyro Bound edition does make it a lot more convenient. But anyway, you can get them anytime you want just by going to Amazon.com and checking out the Firearms Training Notebook. Well, you mentioned the Ivy League, Rick. And since we're talking about, all the important people and all the elites, the great minds that go to Ivy League, when we were kids, though, and that wasn't terribly long ago. Ivy League was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Ivy League was a big deal. And then sometimes you'd hear schools, that's almost an Ivy League education. They trying to compare themselves or sidle next to them because it was such a big deal to have an education for one of these universities. However, it's not been a good look. Been a good look recently, and they're tearing up their own campuses. They're acting like fools out there, and we're going to be hard on them because we've let it go long enough without really making big comments, but we've let it go long enough where we've seen most of the picture. And we're going to talk about that today because some of the way they're treating the law officers and some of these and their own institutions that their parents are probably paying for is just ridiculous.
Well, the parents are paying, and depending on where they're going, I'm sure there's hundreds of thousands of dollars that basically got flushed down the toilet. So the part that blows me away is, number one, the schools of these minds, they might be educated, but they've got zero common sense. So as things unfolded, we're finding out that instigators were basically infiltrating these campuses, and then these people were jumping on board, right? How come nobody said, hey, man, you're not part of the student body. Hey, who are you? Hey, what are you doing here? Running these encampments. And then it's funny, and I'll just speak for the state of North Carolina. The state of North Carolina has laws on the books. It is illegal to wear a face covering in public. Illegal. Now, I can't speak for all other 49 states, but at least in the state of North Carolina. And the little governor's crap that he tried to pull during the old China virus, well, he does not supersede law, right? But all of a sudden, all these masks are coming out. Everyone's trying to cover their identity. And my hat's off to the law enforcement officers that are basically popping these masks off, showing the world who these scumbags are, and basically doing the old fashioned perp walk, and it's funny because as soon as they pop the mask, these cats trying to hide their face. No, man, there's no hiding behind the mask.
No.
Let it publicly known. This is old Johnny Ragbag. And then, hey, man, what the school needs to start doing, and half these school administrators are old leftist, spineless communists, in my opinion. Go, hey, is that even a student? Nope. Why don't you bring them up on charges? Why you got somebody on your campus violating your rules, passing, and just causing a ruckus? And then all these students, check it out. You want to fix it? Find out who's going into these different buildings, taking them over, destroying them, graffitiing, and boom, you're expelled. I don't care if they're supposed to graduate. You're done. Beat it.
Yeah.
And let, you got to kind of throw things back. I got it, quote unquote, adults. Yep. But hey, parents are still forking the bill. Go let mama know, hey, you just, wasted however many hundreds of thousands of dollars on this education. You're done.
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be some type of, the problem with right now, there's no repercussion for actions. Nobody is not liable for their actions. They just think they can go out there, put graffiti, destroy monuments, rip down the flag, do what they want, and they think they're all good.
Yeah.
No way.
No.
And these schools don't do anything either. So that's half the problem as well.
Yeah. You can't hide behind the veil of free speech or a noble cause, as you're saying, and then decide to violate several laws. You can't do it. That's not how it works. I will go up and defend anybody's right to protest peacefully, free speech. I will do that all day long. But when you start assaulting staff at these colleges, you start breaking down the doors, you start going in, sitting in, not leaving, calling for demands to be fed. That's when all that stuff, no one gives you the right to go onto their property and join an encampment or restrict people's liberties and freedoms going in and out of those encampment areas because you don't like what they believe in or what they think. You can't do all that stuff. And, you made a really good point about these agitators, because there was an event where it was a mass arrest. They finally I think it was Arizona State University, something like that. I think 70 some people were arrested. Only 15 were actual students. Only 15. So that just goes to show you that what Rick is saying is absolutely true. Or you cannot believe it. You can put your head in the sand and not believe a word we're saying. But that's the facts.
Yeah.
And then talk about consequences. They are boo-hooing until the cows come home about, oh, I'm not going to be able to walk in graduation because I'm expelled and I don't get to take my finals. Yeah, that's right. Get your butt out. You're gone. Yeah. And that's what they need to do. I know that Vanderbilt, which we haven't been a fan of a lot of the stuff they do, but they took all those folks that went in there. I think one got charged with assaulting a staff member who was trying to keep them from coming in her office, and they expelled all of them. All of them. And they're whining and crying about it now. It's absolutely ridiculous. What do you think was going to happen?
But even their cause to boot, right? Sitting there hooping and hollering, free Palestine, do this, hey, why don't you take a step back for a minute? All you young folks that, were probably right at that age of birth when them planes crashed in the freaking Twin Towers. Go do some footage. Go see what they were doing in Gaza on 9/11. They were having a party. They were celebrating.
Yep.
Right. So this is your call. And then you got people going, here's the other part. You go, American citizens going, I'm Hamas. Oh, you're a terrorist? So let's think about it. You just admitted you're a terrorist or part of a terrorist organization. Could not a certain person go, I'm in fear for my life and use deadly force? You just admitted you're a terrorist. I don't know what you're going to do. If you look at what their book tells you to do, hey, man, you're an infidel. They're supposed to kill you. Right? I mean, if you know some history, whoa, but that's how stupid these people are. And this is your cause. You're not sitting there going, oh, yeah, that's right, because you're not paying for your college education. Hey, man, student loans or just college tuition is out of control. Inflation's out of control. Interest rate out of control. We've got American citizens sleeping on the streets while we let all these illegals sleep in hotels that the government's paying for, right? Of all things, this is going to be your stand in 2024 to
Right.
free Palestine, right? Do you even know what that means? Do you even know the history of Palestine? They don't, right? The Israelis pulled out of there in 2005. Israelis used to live there. They pulled them all out. They pulled their dead. They said, hey, here you go. Enjoy. There's Gaza. I'm sorry Hamas came in and made it the place it is today, right? Do you even know the history? And that's the part that's killing me with all this, is especially for American citizens. If you want to sit there and protest, if you want to sit there and be up in arms, you want to sit there and exercise your First Amendment, I'm all about it. But why don't you do something a little smarter? You know, how about you sit there and go,
Yeah.
what's going to make me and my country better? How about you sit there and go, hey, man, I think these colleges are taking us to the bank, because they are, right? But hey,
Yeah.
you want that Ivy League education, which I'll tell you this, here at Warhog Tactical, you go ahead and graduate from Ivy League school. We ain't hiring. I'll be looking at the community colleges, right? I'm serious, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Hey, that's a great point. You don't see this happening at trade schools. You don't see
Nope.
this happening at places where people are learning how to do things with their hands,
No.
or like you said, the community college. You don't see that happening down there, because they're actually there doing what they're supposed to do. Having a good time, yeah. Maybe cause a little bit of a ruckus, okay. But we're going to get into talking about these Ivy League schools. Look at that Harvard president at Ivy League in Harvard that they had to get rid of. What a joke! What a joke! This is your Ivy League, folks. These are the people. This girl cackling and crying and snot nose bawling because she can't graduate anymore because she got arrested for, I think there was assault and damage, destruction of property. It wasn't just protesting. These people weren't arrested for protesting. And now they're boo-hooing about all of this. And they're like, oh, I don't get to graduate. My parents had to cancel all their tickets because I'm not going to be at the commencement. Yeah. Yeah. You got arrested like a criminal that you are.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going on. And here's another thing too, before we get into the perp walk and talking about this other stuff. I tell you, let's go ahead and do that, because I don't want to get off on a sidetrack. But hey, guys and girls, make sure that you like, subscribe, follow, hit those notification bells. Make sure you're doing that on all of our platforms so you're not missing a single new episode or an email or whatever. So make sure you hit warhog.com, kellydefense.com, and sign up for those newsletters. What I'm talking about is these parents.
Mm-hmm.
These parents, like you said, they obviously didn't lay a foundation of just self-respect or respect for others. They just haven't done that. Okay. Let's say they go off and they get around, bad-minded people, and they're out there, these bad actors who are out there agitating, maybe. But these are 22, 23-year-olds. These are adults, right? Your kids, let's not even talk about them flushing your money down the drain on a BS degree that's not going to amount to anything. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. Not only did they flush it down and not be sustainable, you see how they're walking around. They don't care about fitness. They don't care about people's personal properties. They don't care about nothing other than doing what they think is right and all this other stuff, which is totally misguided. But now they're not even going to graduate. They're not even going to graduate. And I can tell you right now, even one of the students said that, yeah, this is going to be hard for me to get hired now. Yeah. Because no one's going to want you in their company causing trouble. Not because they might even side with you, but that doesn't mean they want to pay you to come in there and sue them, do a sit down, do a lockdown, hang up a flag of another country in your lobby. Who's going to hire you? It's ridiculous. Go ahead, Rick.
But see, here's kind of what happened too, Mark, right? So again, what were the numbers of true student populations that did or didn't? I don't know. But the point being is this: the actions of few affected many, because, hey, man, you might have had only 10% of the students at Harvard. And again, guys, I'm throwing out I don't know numbers. I'm just throwing numbers out just so you kind of understand the point. It might have only been 10%. There could have been 90. I don't know. But the bottom line is those few, their actions affected the whole entire school, right? So now this whole Ivy League institution has been tainted because nobody put a kibosh on it from the get-go. The students didn't put a kibosh on policing their own. The administration didn't put a kibosh on things happening on your campus. Boom. Stop. You've got encampments going up. That's a direct violation of student policy. Hey, start policing. Hey, where's your student ID? Oh, I left it at the border. I'm sorry. Give me a break.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But all of this could have been nipped early on. Hey, man, you want to assemble peacefully? You want to sit there and execute your First Amendment? By all means, go ahead.
Yep.
You don't take over buildings. You don't restrict other students' movement. You don't harass or threaten other students, because of race, religion, creed, sex, whatever. That don't mean you dudes can go in the chick's bathroom either, just because you think you suck at sports and want to excel. But that's a whole nother subject. But my point being is, they have tainted, nobody policed their own, and it's been tainted across the board for all the Ivy Leagues, So this 2024 graduating class, I don't see them, you're going to sit there and go, man, I graduated from Harvard. Beat it.
Yeah.
If I was a company,
what an absolute joke. What an absolute joke they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were right. A small number. So there are these great minds, right? At Ivy League. Ivy League is a joke now, and everybody knows it. It probably has been for a long time, but now they put it on full display. Ivy League is a freaking joke, right? So you have, like I said, Arizona State, and they can fact check me all you want, but I'm telling you right now, a small percentage of the folks that were arrested when they did that mass arrest because they were tearing up the college, they wouldn't leave. Only a fraction of them, like only 15 out of like the 70 some individuals that were arrested, only 15 of them were students. And they let a group of people who don't even go to school there affect them. They're so weak-minded that they allowed them to get them in that position. And they're grown-ups. And I'm sorry, parents, you didn't lay a foundation. And not only that, there's a line of police officers guarding property, the flagpole and some of the things around the memorial that these students were threatening. And they're throwing drinks on them, spitting on them, calling them names. That's what the lack of foundation that you left them, parents. I'm sorry, but I can tell you right now, it's not too late. Take control of your kids. Take control of your kids. You're funding this hundreds of thousands of dollars, and some of them aren't even graduating.
Yeah.
So you're either weak-minded like they are, or you're just you just didn't see it coming. Whatever the circumstances, you can make it better. You need to start taking care and taking control of these young adults who are your kids, your responsibility. It's a disgrace. Now they're not even going to graduate.
Well,
Ivy League.
With the exception of, the great state of North Carolina, right? So the old frat boys.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
What a great story that was, by the way.
Them cats at UNC stepped up to the plate and they were like, no way. So my hat's off to that fraternity down there. And I'm not a super big, of the Greeks and all the other stuff, but them boys stepped up to the plate. Yep. And that was a prime example of, number one, having the chancellor backing. And then number two, some students stepping up going, no, you're not doing that on our campus. Right. Can it be done? Yeah. The example's been set if you wanted to. But like you said, if you're just going to be a follower and not a leader, you're just going to jump in line with the rest of these cats. Yeah. Come up with some, go for some rubbish cause and then sit there and not even care about, number one, your campus, your country, anything. Just care about yourself and something, thinking you're bigger than something. Hey, how about, imagine this versus Biden wasting my tax dollars, taking, trying to pay off people's student loans. What if the students were to do something? What if the students were to all get together collectively and say, hey, schools, either fix or adjust these prices because they're way out of control. You're sending me into life hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt in some case. What would happen if every single student, let's say for year 2025, boycotted going to school? What would happen? Right? Like, why don't we do, students, why don't you do something like that versus looking for the free Uncle Sugar handout? And I got it. Joe's trying to buy votes with the young voters, right? And easily shown, you're easily influenced. But how about you sit there and stand on your own? How about you sit there and collectively, if you want to have a movement, hey man, reduce the cost of what it takes to get a higher education, because it's a scam. Yeah. In my opinion, it's an absolute scam. When we were doing these college campuses, oh, you want to come here first, right? Like you got to pay the extra money. And I'll only speak for North Carolina because that's what I know. For the North Carolina, dude, you can go to, community college. And if you're going to another North Carolina school, that's going to transfer over. As long as you're staying in that North Carolina system, why wouldn't you go to the community college, save you some money, and then, hey, when you need to go, whatever that specialty education you're trying to get, then go there. But they sucker these kids and parents, right? They're like used car salesmen. Oh, you'll get, if you come here for the first 2 years to get all your basic education, you'll get preferential treatment in that third year when it's time to, do whatever specialized program it is. Dude, you're sitting there smoking mirrors, man. You just old used car salesman 101. So why aren't they hooping about that? Because they're getting handouts, right? When people don't have to work, it becomes easy. And then in turn, these great minds lack common sense. They just fell in line like a bunch of followers at the most prestigious, supposedly institutions of higher learning in this country. And the Ivy League is the dope league.
Joke.
It is the dope league, right?
The first thing that folks would think, back in the day when you said that you went to Yale or Harvard or UCLA or all these, Cal Poly, all these big schools, Stanford, they're like, wow, okay, this is something. Now it's a freaking joke. My first question would be, hey, were you involved in any of those riots and sit-ins and all that stuff?
Yeah,
that's the first thing I would ask. It's my company. I can do what I want. And here's another thing too. All you alumnus, take a look at Jack Kraft from, I think his name was Mr. Kraft from the Patriots. Go take a look at him. He pulled all his money. I think it was Columbia University.
I think it was. Yeah.
Pulled it. Some of these colleges, these old school colleges like Harvard, they have endowments that are billions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Billions of dollars. You're still going to give money. It's a joke. Those schools' reputations of putting out quality people are ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's a joke now. They've made a joke out of that college that you were so proud and willing to give all your money to. They made a joke out of it. And you let them, you encouraged it. You don't think those guys and girls who are giving up that big money and all these corporations to those schools for those huge endowments and donations of money, you don't think that they can make a decision and influence and say, hey, get that whack job out of the president of the university. You don't think they can get involved in that? Instead of, throwing your money around, going to these fancy parties and saying you're from Harvard, why don't you make some real good happen? Oh my God. It's a disaster.
But Mark, you bring up a great point. There's no policing of their own, right? So whether you want to say from the alumnus, from the students, I mean, we've already seen, because the majority of these dopes were up at Capitol Hill and they couldn't even answer a simple question. No. They're having a congressional inquiry. Give me a yes or no answer. And they still can't answer yes or no, right? As soon as you can't answer yes or no, you go dodging the question. That right there says, hey, in Rick's opinion, you're lying, right? Or you're trying to hide something. But no, like you said, all this stuff could have been day one nipped in the butt. But I do have to do couple of shout outs, man. GSP, some of you guys, I guess, when you get done playing ball, didn't get you played to the NFL, but man, you still got the skills, because we saw some great video come out of GSP, or had another one, GSP just carrying the rubbish out. Oh, you're hurting me.
Oh yeah.
You don't want to move?
Yeah.
No problem. We'll physically move you.
Yeah.
Hats off to those
guys. I tell you
man.
what, he picked him up like he was picking up a 5-pound dumbbell, didn't he?
Yeah. Nothing.
That guy was a beast.
Right? GSP, man. Don't mess with GSP. Those guys down there, they don't play. But and then I think it was California where they were doing the old snatching the masks off, the public.
Yeah, I love the perp walk thing. Yeah.
It has to happen, in my opinion. Hey man, you want to sit there. Who is this person? And then to me, the schools need to be running that database. No, they should, number one, they shouldn't let it get that far. Number two, hey, is this even one of our students? Because that's going to drive some different charges, Yeah.
Yeah. That weakling screaming like a little girl, that meme is going to be around forever.
Yeah.
Forever. Anytime, if I knew this guy and I didn't like him, which I don't, that'd be played all the time. Anytime I think he was going to see it, that'd be playing it all the time.
Yeah. No, you're hurting me. It's like,
yeah. Or the girl whining and crying like a baby in front of the courthouse because she's not going to get to graduate and she's got to cancel all her her plans with her family who's going to come watch her graduate. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Consequences, girlfriend.
That's it, man.
Consequences.
Welcome to
Yeah.
life.
Welcome. Yeah.
Yep.
And parents, I'm sorry that happened to you, but I think you
Yeah.
could have probably done a little better, but maybe not. I don't know, but sorry that happened to you. What a waste of money.
No,
Waste of money.
I feel bad for the parents, man. Like you said,
Yeah.
God knows how much money, thousands of dollars gone.
Yeah.
For stupid decisions. So
Yeah. That's not going to happen. I'm sure there were a lot of family members out there pulling funding. Hey, you're not going to act like that in college with my money. Go take a loan, do it on your own. So
yeah.
Anyway, so there we go, buddy. Crew members, stand by after the show. You have bonus content over on the crew members page. Go to warhog.com, kelleydefense.com. You can join, go there and enroll, pick a tier, and then you can watch some of this bonus content. The show will continue over there on that page. Make sure you sign up for our newsletters. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow. You want to go ahead and close it out, buddy?
You know, pal. Guys, train hard, stay safe, and we'll see you on the range.
On the Range Podcast.